One of the #1 requests I've had come in for a pedal comparison is the VS Audio Royal Flush, which is my favorite overdrive pedal, up against their new Straight Flush overdrive pedal. So for those who don't know, this is a dual channel overdrive that you can stack or use the channels independently. And this is supposed to be pretty much the same thing except without the stack function. So with the toggle switch down, you're getting the lower gain channel on here. With the toggle switch up, you're getting the higher gain channel. We're going to see how they compare. And yeah, hopefully this is helpful. So let's do it. All right, let's kick it off. I'm playing my PRS SE. This is all stock, and we're going through the Joyo Jackman's clean channel, which is a 20-watt head going into my Marshall 2x12 box, mic'd up with a Rode M3. I also have the Prisoner delay pedal from Jacquez going through the effects loop. This amp is dead dry, so just a little bit of something is always nice. Let's start on the neck pickup on dead clean. All right. So we're going to start on the lower gain setting of the two pedals. So we'll start with the Royal Flush. Everything's at 12 o'clock. Here we go. Over to the Straight Flush with everything at 12. Now I think this might be evident, I can kind of see it on the waveform as well. The Straight Flush is slightly louder and has a little bit more dirt at this particular setting as well. Let's try it again. Back to the Royal Flush. The Royal Flush seems a little bit smoother sounding, possibly. I can definitely hear a difference. I also feel like the Straight Flush with exactly the same settings is slightly brighter. Let's go over to the heavier or the higher gain stage of the Royal Flush to start with. Here we go, it's bridge. Over to the Straight Flush with the toggle switch up. Whoa, all right, so this definitely has a lot more kick at the same settings as the Royal Flush. It's probably nothing we can't compensate for on both pedals. So we'll turn up the gain a little bit on the actual Royal Flush. Maybe just turn the volume up a little bit. I reckon this will be comparable. So this is still the Straight Flush. Over to the Royal Flush. Whew, that's loud as nobody's business. Let's try one more time on the Straight Flush. So judging by the waveforms on my computer, they look like they're outputting at right about the same amount of volume, and it sounds very, very comparable in the room. There might be some subtle differences with the microphone up on the grill, but they sound pretty much the same and they feel very similar to play. So I think with the Royal Flush, if you want the same type of sound as the Straight Flush, you've got to turn up the gain a little bit more. Or if you want the same sort of tone with the Straight Flush as the Royal Flush, maybe back the gain off a little bit. But the cool thing about the Royal Flush is you can stack both channels, which pretty much gives you more of everything. Let's take a listen. This is bridge. Whoo! And you know what? We can still get the same type of sound out of the Straight Flush by cranking up the gain. So here we go. Nothing wrong with that at all. Back to the Royal Flush, both sides on. It's so loud, man. 20 watt amp through a 150 watt 2x12, being pushed extremely hard by two very loud pedals. So yeah, I think they're both very similar in terms of tone. I guess when you stack both sides of the Royal Flush, it does feel a little bit different to just using the straight flush, but it's so minimal. I think they've really crammed in a lot of good stuff in the straight flush as a single pedal. Definitely saves some space. It's got all the gain in the world. And just being able to, that's about as the most amount of gain I would use personally playing. So for me, that's plenty. So if we turn down, I'm sure we're gonna get the same sort of response through both pedals. This is the Royal Flush, this is a neck pickup. Yeah. And over to the straight flush. Now that sounds pretty much the same, but for some reason the straight flush isn't as loud when you turn down. It's just one of those things. I guess because we're pushing more gain through the Royal Flush, it's giving it a little bit more output volume as well, but overall it still feels great. Now this is with it back up. All right, and lastly, the volume all the way up. All right, so the Royal Flush definitely still has a little bit more gain. I think I'd probably just have to dime the straight flush to get just that little bit more, but it's very, very comparable. If you like either one of the channels on the Royal Flush, the straight flush will do it. At the same setting, it will have a little bit more gain than the Royal Flush, but it's nothing that you just can't take out by turning the gain control down. So overall, there you go. This has been a requested video now for quite some time. I hope it's helpful, and I will catch you on the next video. See ya.